Okay, so it's starting at number 2. We have a plumber who's putting pipes in a new house that's being built. After Aaron cuts pipes to their correct length, there are 3 leftover pieces of pipe. The second pipe is 4 times as long as the first pipe. The third pipe is 2 times as long as the first pipe. When the pipes are lined up and measured, they are 70 inches long altogether. How long is each pipe? First question I'm going to ask you is, what should we circle? How long is each pipe? That's what they want. Okay. Well, how many pipes are there? How many pipes are there all together? 3. So we're going to need 3 answers for this one, aren't we? Okay. So maybe we should put that behind here. We need 3 answers. Because there were 3 leftover pipes, and they talked about the second one being 4 times as long as the first, the third pipe being twice as long as the first, so they have a first, second, and a third. Okay. Anything you think we could cross out? Anything like really not that important to solving this problem? What's one thing we crossed out on Wednesday when they weren't with us, Sylvia? The first sentence. You know, it really isn't that important that they're going in a brand new house. Okay? After Aaron cuts pipes to their correct length, there are 3 leftover pieces of pipe. Is that kind of important, but yet not really so much? It's kind of important that they're telling us that there's 3 pipes, right? So that part maybe would be important. So maybe we should just underline that part. 3 leftover pieces of pipe. Well, now we got the second pipe is 4 times as long as the first. Is that pretty important? Do you think that is an important statement? I think so. So we're going to underline that. Second pipe is 4 times as long as the first pipe. Do you think it's important that the third pipe is twice as long as the first pipe?
Yes.
Yeah. And how about what the only sentence we have left is, when they are lined up and measured, they are 70 inches long altogether. Do you think that's important? Yeah, I think that's kind of, so let's just do the 70 inches long all together, so we don't have quite so much stuff to look at underlined there, okay? There's kind of like a main player in this problem, and they're kind of like in charge, almost like it says, hey you guys, you are based on me. Who's the main player in this problem? The first pipe. Because it says the second pipe is 4 times as long as the first pipe, and the first pipe says, yeah, that's me. And the third pipe says that the third pipe is 2 times as long as the first pipe, and the first pipe says, see, I'm the main character. So we're going to assign our variable to the first pipe. We're going to say x is first pipe's length. Okay. It's kind of like our main player. And then we're going to kind of just like draw up. I mean, they might kind of look like pipes, and we're not going to worry about like they're being scaled to size or anything. But we're going to say if there's 3 pipes and all together they have to be 70 inches long, how could we set up an equation? Well, we could say the length of one pipe plus, and we'll call this the first, and the length of the second, and the length of the third should be equal to what? 70. Okay. So it's kind of like a little picture diagram for us instead of writing on all those words. Our so-called pipes, they kind of look like rectangles. The first pipe's length plus the second pipe's length plus the third pipe's length, they should all together add up to 70. Okay, now we're going to write an algebraic expression for that left side, because first, second, and third isn't going to work very well. So what could we replace the first pipe's length with? Danny? X. That's what we just claimed. X is the first pipe's length. What could we replace the second pipe's length with, Sylvia?
X times
Yeah, or 4 times x, right? X times 4 or 4 times x. Multiplication doesn't care which one gets to be first. Well, then what do you think of the third? Wait. 2x or 2 times x. Let's just kind of start with it's 2 times as long, right? As the first pipe. So now we can kind of say, you know what? We can ditch all those multiplication dots that we have and say we have an x plus a 4x plus a 2x equal to 70. There's our equation. That'll help us get our 3 answers eventually. So, remember the first thing we always do is see, can we rename the, one side of the equation or the other to get it ready to solve? So does this need getting ready to solve? Ikea, what do you think?
Add all the x's together.
Yeah, these guys right here, they are all like terms. They can all be put together. How many x's do we have all together? 7. We got a 1 here. Remember, there's like an invisible 1 right here. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. So those combine to be 7x. Now do you think it's ready to solve? Sierra says yes. Okay, Sierra, what are we going to do then?
Divide by 7.
We're going to divide both sides by 7. Because when we divide by 7, what's that 7 in front of the x called? We always divide by the, what's that 7 called in this problem? Coefficient. So there's 7 x's, so 7's the coefficient. We divide by 7. If we divide this side by 7, we have to divide the other side by 7, and we say, okay, now we have a 1x. So what's 70 divided by 7, class? 10. Okay. So, what did we just find?
The first pipe is 10.
Yeah, the first pipe's length. Okay, so we could say that, find a spot where you can start writing some sentences. And we don't use the abbreviated way to write first when we write sentences. We say the first pipe is what? What are we going to say the first pipe is?
10 inches.
Okay, and it's inches because what? Why is it inches? That's always the thing to decide too, because the total was measured in inches. Yeah, so the first pipe is 10 inches long. I'll just go to your picture now and kind of like say, okay, what's going to be the second pipe's length then? The second, written as a word, pipe is how long is the second pipe? Thank you.
40 inches.
40 inches long. Got 2 of our answers. Remember, we need 3 though. The third pipe, third written as a word, is 20 inches long. So now make sure you can tell on your paper that those are our answers. But of course, we won't move on until deciding if we have a reasonable answer. Does this seem reasonable? Harley, why?
Because if you add all the, if you add 10, 20, adds up to 70.
Yeah, if you add them all up, you're going to get 70, aren't you? And so that's probably the most, reasonable thing to think about is we needed 70 inches altogether, and we do have 3 numbers that add up to 70, so we're feeling, pretty good, right? Questions? Okay, let's go to the back side.
We're doing number 1.
Pardon?
We're doing number
No, we're skipping number 1. We did one kind of like that the other day, so we're going to skip over that one. So I want you to get some homework time. The redwood forest in Northern California has some of the tallest trees in the world. Has anybody ever been there to see those monster trees?
My
Are they big?
uncles live there.
Yeah. Are they big, Harley? And they are, and not only tall, but some of them
Really
are,
wide.
yeah, like they have a huge diameter. Okay, so here are the drawings of 4 trees in the forest. We'll give them names. See, we have Shorty and Spruce and Sky and Weedy. You see them over here? They have pictures for us. Shorty, Spruce, Sky, and Weedy. Okay, so it says Sky is 3 times as tall as Shorty. Spruce and Weedy are the same height. They are both 2 times as tall as Shorty. When the heights of the trees are added together, the total height is 800 feet. How tall is each tree? What are we going to circle? How tall is each tree? You know, when you're doing this on a computer or something and you can't circle maybe on the computer or whatever, then on your piece of scratch paper, write that down. How many trees are there? So in other words, how many answers do we need? 4. We need 4 answers. Okay. Which sentences can we cross out? Harley, what's...
The red forest in North Carolina has some of the tallest trees in the world.
Yeah, that's kind of nice information, but not really important for us to figure out the heights of the trees. Okay, anything else we can cross out, class? What do you think? Wait.
Here are drawings of 4 trees in the forest.
Yeah, it's nice that they drew them for us, but it's not really going to be all that important for solving it. Okay, what else? And we'll give them names. You know, yes, it's nice that they have names, but you know, we don't really need that information in our, kind of our equation. Okay, but we do have some things that are pretty important that we're going to underline. We're going to underline that Sky is 3 times as tall as Shorty. That's important. Spruce and Weedy are the same height. Is that important? What do you think? Would that be important? Spruce? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They are both 2 times as tall as Shorty. Is that important? Yeah, so they are both 2 times as tall as Shorty. That's important. And what else is important? Total height is 800 feet. Total height is 800 feet. We'll leave out that when they're added together because we know that total means you add, right? Okay, let's go over and since they have this nice drawing over here for us, let's put their algebraic names for their heights above the trees. Who's the main player in this one? Shorty. Yeah, Shorty says, I get to be the main player. Just because I'm shorter than the rest of you doesn't mean that I'm not important. So we're going to call Shorty what? X. Shorty's height is X feet tall, right? Okay, well then what should we call Sky? Because it says Sky is 3 times as tall as Shorty, so Sky gets to be 3x. Well, Spruce and Weedy are the same height. Well, that doesn't really help us other than we know they're going to have the same algebraic expression for their length. But then it says they are both 2 times as tall as Shorty, so they're both going to be what? 2x, yeah, so we have 2x for each of them. So see how when we just break down these word problems in pieces, they're not so intimidating, are they? And you know, even drawing pictures, how many of you like to draw? Yeah, wait, I know you do, right? Okay, so, or doodle, or whatever you call it. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Let's set up an algebraic equation. Help me set up an algebraic equation. What do you think, Sierra?
1x plus 2x plus 3x plus 2x.
Okay, right from our picture, we can say,
Equals 800 feet.
yeah, equals 800. And we'll leave the feet out, and in the end, we'll remember that we need it, right? Okay, is this equation ready to solve? No, what do we have to do? You gotta add all those x's together. They're all like terms. So how many x's are there?
8.
1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is, okay, I agree with you. You convinced me. Now, is it ready to solve? Okay, what are we going to do? Divide by that coefficient 8. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. And what is x equal? 100. What is that 100 representing? Shorty's height in inches? In feet. Shorty's 100 feet tall. Is that pretty tall? Uh-huh, yeah. So that's about a 10-story building. That's Shorty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, and then we've got Spruce and Sky and Weedy yet. So remember, we have to have 4 answers. So where are you gonna find some white space to write all this? I'm going up here. You can find a good spot. We have lots of writing to do here. Okay, Shorty is 100 feet, and we don't abbreviate either in sentences. Shorty is 100 feet tall. Wait.
Spruce and Weedy are 200 feet tall.
Spruce and Weedy, and we don't use an abbreviation for and in there like the ampersand. Spruce and Weedy are each, we better say that so that we don't, someone might mistake it and say together. They are. Spruce and Weedy are each 200 feet tall. So how many answers have we given so far?
3.
3. We got 1 to go then, don't we?
Sky is 400
And how tall is Sky, class?
feet.
300 feet. Sky is 300 feet tall. And I use the word tall because, trust me, you could also talk about their diameters. They are big around also. And somehow show that it is our final answer. Okay? Okay, reasonable?
Yes.
What makes it reasonable?
It adds all 4 answers.
They add up to 800, and according to the drawing, should Shorty be the smallest of all those numbers? Yes, and should Sky be the largest of all those numbers?
Yes.
Yes, and Spruce and Weedy should be the same, right? Okay, well, then we're feeling pretty good. Okay, so let's go and look at, or does that, anyone have questions? Sylvia? You're still trying to catch up? Okay, go ahead, I'll leave it there for you. Okay, I want you to start looking at number 4. It's an interesting one. Circle what needs to get circled first. And I think this is probably a main character one also. So see if you can figure out who's the main character in this one. What'd you circle?
What are the 2 numbers?
What are the 2 numbers? So we need how many answers?
2.
2 answers, okay, so did you write that behind there so that you remember to give 2 of them? Okay. Well, the next thing I asked you to figure out who's the main character. Think you know yet? Anybody got an idea who they think the main character is? Wade?
The first number.
You think the first number is the main character? How many of you want to agree? You think the first number is the Ikea, Gunna, and Gnarly, and okay. So the rest of you think the second number is the main character? Sarah, you think the second number is the main character? No? Kaylee? Danny? Derek? What do you think? Who's the main character? This is really important that we understand that because what does the main character get? It gets, yeah, it gets to be assigned a variable. So it's really important that we understand who the main character is, just like we did in these other ones. And for some reason, this one seems a little bit trickier because it doesn't have more than 2 things. So it's like, ooh, I have a 50-50 chance here of picking the right one, whereas the other one, it used that name 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to then until we are ready to make sure we have, because we aren't in 100% agreement. And so says, I'm thinking of two numbers. The first number is 4 times the second number less 10. When I add the two numbers together, the total is 40. So anything we could cross out just to kind of get it out of our view. Harley?
First sentence.
Yeah, I'm thinking of two numbers. Yeah, we've already decided that we do need two numbers. We need two answers. The first number is 4 times the second number less 10. Do you think that's important? Yeah. And when I add the two numbers together, the total is 40. What part do you think is kind of really important? We don't have to have quite. Total is 40, huh? So in other words, when we add the two numbers together, we better get 40 in the end. Okay, so the first number is 4 times the second less 10. So think of it like this. What would I need to know to get the first number? Or what would I need to know to get the second number? So we're still trying to decide who's the main character here. The first number is 4 times the second number. Which of those would be really nice to have right now? If you knew it, you could be like, oh, I'll just multiply by 4. The first number is 4 times the second number. So yeah, the second number is the main character, guys. If you knew, if I told you right now that the second number was 8, what would you do? Take it times 4, and then we would have to do one more thing. So the x is the second number. It gets to be our main character. And this time we're going to write an algebraic expression for that first sentence that we underlined there. In other words, what can we say is the first number? So the first number is 4 times the second number. How can we write that? 4x less 10. What would we do there? Subtract, minus 10. So 4x minus 10 is the first number. I want this on your notes. I want you writing this out. This is important that we make sure we have a good picture of what's going on here, okay? Now we'll write our equation because we need two answers and we say, well, if we get x and we get 4x minus 10, we'll know what they are. So what could our equation be? Let's draw some boxes just to say, here's our first number, plus here's our second number. They have to add up to 40. Okay, well then we need a 40 over there, don't we? The first number, what are we going to put in that box? We're going to put the x. What are we going to put in the second box? 4x minus 10, the second number. I know it looks kind of weird right now in algebraic expression form, but this is going to help us get the answer. Now we will say, okay, well then, let's get this equation ready to solve. So it's kind of like we're just ditching the box. And the reason we need to just ditch them is because we're adding them together. What do you see in there that is the first thing that should be saying? Do this to me. Do what? The 10. What are we going to do? Add the opposite. We're going to change that to add. And what's the opposite of 10? Negative 10. Okay, next. Is it ready to solve? Idea?
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms. What can be combined?
X's.
These guys can be combined, can't they? So what are they going to combine to be? 5x. Anything else we should do before we get carried away solving it? Remember, solving is when we do what? The same thing on
Both sides.
both sides, each side, yep. Okay, so is it ready to do the same thing on both sides? Yes, okay. Well then, what would be our first thing? This is what you did yesterday a lot, didn't you?
Add 10,
Add 10, because we need 0 pairs, so we have 10 negative ones, so we're going to zero them out with 10 positive ones. So now we're going to say, you guys 0 pair out, and the 5x is all by itself now. What do we have on the other side? 50. Now we're going to divide by that coefficient 5. And now we have a 1x. What is our x equal to? 10. 50 divided by 5 is 10. Okay. I'm thinking that because this one's just a little bit more involved getting the second number, we're going to say, you know what, this is the first number right here. And then this time I'll let you out a rating sentence, okay? 10 is let's do it like that. 10 is the first number. Now, we're going to find the second number. Remember, the second number's algebraic name is 4x minus 10. So, what are we going to do? Harley? Take 40 minus 10. Well, first we have to substitute a 10 in, don't we? And then order of operations says do the multiplying first, right? 4 times 10 is what class? 40. And 40 take away 10 is 30. So 30 is the second number. How you feeling about that? I think we got maybe some good choices for numbers. Okay. Okay, I have to take a phone call really quick, and so you guys are going, could you guys get the worksheet passed out to them up here, please? And I will